Hey guys, it's Nash,
It's Maya.
and welcome to the Jurassic Ark. This time we're going to be doing a video review, for a movie called Sicario: Day of the Soldado. We saw it last night. Wanted to make a review on it because we both liked the movie, right?
Yeah.
It was really good.
We really liked the first, and this one wasn't really much different.
Yeah, the first one was amazing. One of the greatest, like, in your face, kind of just the dark side of government and the drugs and the cartels and everything. And they were just great It was a great movie. And the second one, let's have you talk. What did you like and dislike about it?
I really liked the story. I've heard a lot of other reviews saying it had a slight identity crisis, and I agree with that. They didn't really have a straight, direct path that they wanted to go. It was kind of all over, and it had a lot of, not sort of awkward, but awkward pauses that they wanted to make it so it would build up to this big event. And those pauses didn't really do that for me. It just seemed like blank space that they could have filled with more content.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it was. The pauses and everything, they were meant to be tension building, just ramping up to that moment where these movies are full of that. You're just ramping up full time. I mean, it never gives you a break to the next, just, oh my god, that just happened moment, and it's crazy. The things I loved about this movie, the story was really good. It was really easy to follow. It did drag on a bit, I will say that. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, it felt more like a 2-hour, 45-minute movie. But, with that being said, characters and actors were amazing. This is the year of Josh Brolin. I'm convinced of that. Other really great things. The cinematography, very creative, very great. It was just, every shot is a good shot in this movie. There are some scenes that didn't need to be in there. I think they could have trimmed it a little bit, just cut back
definitely.
15, 20 minutes, and it would have been better for the wear. The special effects were great. There's not much in the way of special effects in these movies. They're pretty straightforward and this isn't a movie with a happy ending. The Sicario is not a movie where you come out thinking, oh, that's good, the good guys won. It's a very somber and realistic look at politics, identity politics, war, guns for hire, moral choices, moral dilemmas. It's just a very somber look into the life of those people. You get to see directly into where they lie, and you get a good idea for who they are, but they're not really people you'd want to invite to dinner or see on the street or know at all. What else would you like to say?
Following the story a little bit, both the movies focus on the cartel, the drug trade, the human trade, all of that. It's not a movie for the people with the faint of heart.
Yeah, they're hardcore. I mean, within the first 10 minutes of this movie, one of the most disgusting and despicable scenes I've ever seen in a movie happens, and it just kind of rattles you because you're like, all right, this movie just started. It gets into it, and immediately it's hardcore. That's the only word I can really describe it as. You see it and you're like, wow, did they really put that in a movie in the first few minutes? Before you've even met the main characters in this movie, they threw it in there. This is no spoilers, by the way. So we're not going to say anything about spoilers. That's only going to be for the bigger movies. We'll do a second half spoiler-filled discussion. So yeah, anything else you want to put in?
It was a really great movie, besides the pausing and the failure of the tension building.
Yeah,
it built a slight tension, but nothing that I would consider too great.
It did have some pacing issues, and I'll admit to that. The pacing issues were there. Alright, so the way we're going to rate these movies is on a 5-point system. So first, plot, writing, second is writing, third is characters and actors, fourth is pacing, and 5 is direction. So for me, with plot, sorry, my throat hurts. Plot, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. characters and actors, 10 out of 10. Amazing. I mean, Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro, anything I see them in, I love them. Like, every movie. They were amazing in this. There's no difference. Writing, I'd give it a solid 8.5 or 9. Writing was really good. Pacing, that's the lowest for me. That's a 7. Direction, 8 or 8.5. Overall, I'm going to give the movie an 8.5 out of 10 score. I really liked it. I thought it was really good, and if you're an adult who wants a good adult movie, go see this. This is just a very, not fun, but it's a movie where the action doesn't seem like you're there to shove popcorn in your face. It doesn't seem like it's there to entertain you as much as to show you the cruel side and the cruel reality of life for these people. I loved it. Thought it was great. Again, though, very somber. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a very hardcore, but very good and well-directed and well-acted movie. What about you?
I would give the rating just about the same, except for the pacing. I would bring the pacing down to a 5. Within the first half hour, I felt like I was in there for 3 hours. And that didn't work for me too well. I loved the movie otherwise. It was a great, great film. And if you like those kind of crime movies, special forces,
I mean, just the FBI, CIA, all that kind of stuff, guns for hire, military outlets that, government contractors, that sort of stuff. Just shoot them up, but not in a popcorn, Deadpool-ish type of way. One other thing I wanted to say about this movie, there is a scene in this movie, take this as a slight spoiler, I guess. There's a scene in this movie where a lot of the scenes are very heart-touching. Let's just put that out there first. A lot of the scenes are very, wow, they conveyed that emotion way, way well, and they don't convey emotion by shoving it in your face. It's subtle. This whole movie is subtle, except for the action. But the emotions, they expect you to pick up on the emotions. Again, this isn't for kids. It's not going to be like Monsters, Inc., where they just, you know the emotion you're going to feel because of the characters, the tone, the setting, everything. You feel the emotion. And there's one scene in particular in this film with Benicio del Toro and this farmer who has to sign. He only has sign language to him. And they are talking in sign language, and it was the most heart-wrenching scene I've ever seen in sign language. And they did the whole thing without saying a word. It was amazing. By far one of my favorite scenes out of the movie, and definitely the most emotional in my opinion.
Oh, yeah,
just
definitely.
Amazing.
And that scene definitely touched home for me.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know sign at all, I still understood it a bit without looking at the captions, but it
just
really
a
touched
good
home.
scene.
It brought tears to my eyes, and that may sound cliche, but it did.
Yeah, one other thing, you won't understand the scene if you haven't seen the first one. You have to see the first one, and, I mean, you'll pick up on it, but you'll know the backstory more, and you won't know the characters as much. Emily Blunt is not in this one. This is just Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro at the lead with a little girl. And another thing is, again, slight spoiler, this little girl, whenever she's in a scene with Benicio del Toro, you can tell the emotion just by the way he looks at her. It's so good how they did that.
Yeah.
A lot of just character emotion acting there. No words had to be said in a lot of these scenes. You just know what they're thinking. So yeah, guys, 8.5 out of 10 for me. What's your final score?
I would have to give it at least a 7.5 to 8 with the pacing issues. It was a really good movie. I really liked it.
Yeah, go see it, guys. Definitely get out there and go see it.
And if you haven't seen the first, I highly recommend you to go see the first.
So if you haven't seen the first, go watch Sicario right now. And when you watch that, or if you've already watched that, go check out Sicario Day of the Soldado. It's a good movie. Great movie.
It is.
We highly recommend it. All right, guys, this is Nash.
I'm Maya.
And thank you guys so much for coming to the Jurassic Ark.